Craig, what would you tell a confused person that Holy Trinity has to offer?
I would say we have a lot to offer. Jesus told a story one time about a young man who grew tired and bored in his father's household, uncomfortable, and he decided to leave the home and family and launch out on his own. This young man asked his father for his inheritance in advance. He asked in advance, which amazingly the father granted him. So the young man took all of that money and headed out into the world, and he began to pursue the kind of life that he saw on YouTube and TikTok and social media, a life of pleasure. He bought several pairs of Nike Air Jordans. He leased a Lamborghini. He rented a penthouse apartment and began to party it up with friends, just living a wild and wonderful life. And he had lots of friends who were happy to come on board and help him spend that money, took exotic vacations. And the time came when he actually started running out of money. Some of the investments he'd put into, there was a downturn in the economy and they bottomed out. He lost that money. And he found himself in this story at a place where he was out of money. He had to take a job that he hated and working hard every day, hated it, and actually came to a place where it wasn't even paying him enough to satisfy his physical hunger. This young man was in a lot of trouble, at a dead end and desperate. And in the story, Jesus said, and I love this phrase, there came a moment where this young man came to himself. It's like the light went on, and he realized all of a sudden that, hey, I had it a lot better off in my father's household than I do out here, trying to live the life that I thought I could live. And so he determined that he would go back home and he would meet with his father and apologize and promise that his father that he'd work in the family business and pay him back. The father, Jesus said, saw this young man coming down the road a long way off and didn't wait for him. He ran down the road to meet him. He threw his cloak around him. He put a ring on his finger, and he said, we're going to have a party because my son who was lost has been found. He's come home. I think there are a lot of people in our neighborhoods and our communities who are feeling lost, and they have pursued a way of life and a direction that they thought would work for them, and they're finding out that it's a dead end. It's an empty place to be, and there is a lot of confusion, a lot of loneliness, a lot of heartache out there. I see Holy Trinity Vancouver as the Father's house, and it is. And people in this community can come here and find some wonderful things. First of all, they can find a warm welcome of a community that will open up their arms and welcome them here. And they can find a compassionate and listening ear, people who care about their life and their struggles and are willing to listen to them. And they can find in this place an ancient wisdom, a wisdom that has been tested by time in the Holy Bible, and actually lays down a way of life, a way of living, and a future that is real and has a lot of hope and a lot of validity. But most of all, they can find a loving Father who compassionately reaches out and welcomes all his children who come to him. Whether or not you've been a part of the church in the past, the Father is here, God is here in this place, and he would open his arms to you, as would this community. So, do we have a lot to offer a confused person? You bet we do.